I'm going to start a video series where I interview notable Brawlhalla players to talk about their sort of origin story in Brawlhalla. I'm thinking top players, content creators, including YouTubers, streamers, artists, maybe even some of the game developers if they'd be willing. I'm just really curious to hear about how people got started with Brawlhalla, where they came from, how they ended up sticking around with the game, and so on. I figure if I'm going to do something like that, I can give the community a chance to suggest players for me to talk to, so I'm going to put this video up to do a little bit of an overview of myself for the people that don't know me, and also ask you all for suggestions on who you'd like to hear about. I've already got the first guest lined up, and I'll announce who that is at the end of the video. Comment down below to let me know who you'd like to see on this series, and subscribe so you don't miss future videos. So to start, a quick overview of myself. I started playing Brawlhalla around the end of 2016. It was right before Mirage came out. I know that's been kind of repeated a few times that I started when Mordex came out, but it was actually a little bit earlier than that. In 2016, I had a competitive Overwatch team that played together a lot. We weren't super good, but we were trying to be, and that eventually just kind of fell apart because it was taking up too much time for people, and they really just didn't want to do it anymore. But when the team split up, one of the guys told me that I should check out this free-to-play fighting game that he had been playing called Brawlhalla. I had some previous Smash experience, so I kind of knew what this genre was, like platform fighters and such, but I had just kind of been playing it with friends. I wasn't really competitive or anything like that. So this friend, he kind of showed me the ropes a bit, and I tried out ranked, and I made it to gold really fast. If I remember correctly, back when I started, 1v1 started at 750 elo instead of 1200, but I might be misremembering. I just know that it was a bit of a grind, but I'm actually still a little bit annoyed that I started playing right as the season was ending, because I think I likely could have finished Diamond my first season if I had had a little bit more time. But very soon after I started, it was when Mirage came out and Scythe came out, and that pretty much changed everything. Scythe was a weapon that I just kind of understood intuitively for some reason, and I got hooked. And I know Foda and TWK have said a few times that I was kind of on the forefront of the dodge read meta in North America, but really kind of buying into Scythe and making it my main weapon practically from day one is what really caused that. Scythe has always been a weapon that got very little value from individual hits and a ton of value from taking someone's dodge or following their movement and just kind of going ham on them. And I got obsessed with this playstyle and made it pretty much my entire identity for a while. Eventually Nyx came out, and I jumped on the Nyx train because her SIGs were super busted at the time. Some of them still are, honestly. It's just a hard weapon combo to be consistent with in top place. You don't really see her a lot. It's actually funny because Nyx was the legend I made it to Diamond with, and this was after Mordex was released. I got to be well known for Mordex, but I ignored that legend for like a month before I decided to commit to going all in on string weapons, and that's kind of when the Atrophius Mordex was born. I don't know why, but I really loved the look of Skyforge Northwind Mordex, and I ended up being the only person who liked that skin for whatever reason, and so that loadout kind of became synonymous with Atrophius for a long time. I guess shortly after this is when CO Dreamland got announced. Brawlhalla was one of the main games there, so I lived really close and figured there was no way I was going to miss an opportunity to meet the developers and all the people I had been talking to and playing against online, and that ended up being my first real entry into competitive play, and it was also kind of the only tournament I had ever gone 0-2 at. I ended up losing to Midget and Hyper Hero, if I remember correctly, but I had a blast. The event was a ton of fun, and getting to meet and play with everyone was really one of the best experiences you could kind of ask for as a Brawlhalla player, which, by the way, go to bcx.live and sign up for BCX if you haven't yet. I'm going to be there along with a ton of people you'll probably recognize from the community. From there, it's kind of history. I feel like for the time, I had one of the fastest ascents to being pretty good at the game. I went from 0-2 at CO Dreamland to top 8 at Summer Champs just a few months later, hitting what's still probably the best clip I'll ever have on a main tournament stream. I had a few more top 8 finishes, including some in 2v2s, got to play in the Pro Series events, got featured on the Brawlhalla esports dev stream. It was honestly a good run considering my age. It's just the level of play has advanced so much since then and continues to advance so quickly that I just can't really keep up anymore competitively. That's why I'm planning to do what I can to help the next generation of Brawlhalla players get their start. And if that sounds interesting to you, head over to brawlacademy.com and sign up for early access when it launches later this year. But I said I was going to announce who was coming up next on this series, and next up is going to be Slow Motion. Slow is a content creator and a tournament organizer known for his Bearded Brawls series of tournaments. He's a super cool guy that I've had the pleasure to spend a lot of time with at events like BCX and DreamHack, so I'm excited to chat with him about how he got started. So please subscribe so you don't miss it. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching.